Hello and welcome to the Ladies Football Show. My name's Emma Duffy, I'm your host for the day and probably for the last time in 2018 with the inter-county season over and the All-Ireland once again won by Dublin. We have a really busy schedule and show for you today. We'll be joined by back-to-back All-Ireland champion Sinead Finnegan in studio to discuss Sunday and that super day in Croke Park. But first, we're going to be joined by the 42's Kevin O'Brien. Kev, how are things?
Good, how are you?
And we're going to look back on the last few months and have a quick chat about all things Mayo. So basically, Kev, we're looking at the 10th of July. That's when this whole story broke of the original walkout, and here we are at the end of September. Is there any way we could do a quick synopsis?
Yeah, it's probably going to be hard to do it quick, but I guess just to kind of start off and go through actually the events that happened. 5th of July, 10 days before they played Cavan, the walkouts took place, including eight Carnacon players who left the squad. 10th of July, they released a statement citing player welfare issues that were personally sensitive to those involved. Then 2 days later, the County Board statement, the Mayo County Board come out and back the management, back the players who stayed. And that kind of takes us up then to when Mayo played Cavan in the first round of the All-Ireland series. Absolutely,
and they played them in Clonus that day. I was actually there, and I'm not sure if you saw it yourself, but it was an incredible game of football, and you could tell from all the girls that were there that Jesus, they were hungry and they wanted to win and prove a point, and I think it said a lot then as the final whistle went and the celebrations were just something else. It was like they'd won an All-Ireland nearly. So I suppose that was kind of a time when I felt, okay, this is quite serious. And then basically they went on and they played Dublin, and fair play to the girls who stuck around. They went out and gave a great account of themselves. They were beaten by the Dubs. Look, Dublin are incredible. We saw there on Sunday just what they can do. And they went on then, they reached the All-Ireland quarter-final stages after the round robin because of that win over Cavan basically, but they were beaten by Galway on the day. And I suppose things seem to have settled down by that stage and kind of nearly forgotten that had happened. You know, there were girls gone and the players that stayed got on with it. Everything seemed to be okay, but then hell kind of broke loose again.
Yeah, as you said, there was probably a 10-day gap where everything went quiet and people probably just presumed that was the end of it for the season. I suppose then what happened at a Mayo County Board meeting, Carnacon were thrown out of the club championship, the defending All-Ireland champions. It was a huge story. And then on so Carnacon had the appeal, they won the appeal, they were reinstated into the championship. September 4th then the players who were remaining in the Mayo panel issued a statement saying, basically backing Peter Leahy, saying there was no player welfare issues. The actual quote was, no player welfare issues exist or have existed under the current management. They also spoke about a failed coup against the management that took place. So then we fast forward 2 days later, Cora Staunton appears on Off the Ball. She says the environment was unsafe and unhealthy. And that was probably what kind of escalated things from there. Then on September 12th, Peter Leahy came out, defended his management team, and it was really the unsafe accusations that he kind of had an issue with, which he described as close to slanderous. So then he kind of said that the walkouts were over team selection issues. So then September 17th, the players who walked away held a press conference. They kind of outlined their issues with management. And then the following day, earlier this week, Mayo LGFA kind of reiterated their backing of the management and the players who stayed. And then I guess that night then Carnacon, the Mayo County Board had an appeal to the County Council about Carnacon's reinstation. So Carnacon were reinstated, but the 8 players who walked from the panel were suspended for 4 weeks, and Carnacon were also issued a €500 fine. So that kind of takes us up. And then yesterday Peter Leahy came out and he spoke to us and he kind of called for the whole thing to end and the public commentary over it, and basically just talked about the kind of pain and upset that caused by his family by the words unsafe and unhealthy particularly. He also said he plans to stay on for 2018, and he said that the door is open for the players who left to return at some stage, and he's not going to hold any grudges. So that kind of brings us up to where we are today.
Absolutely, we fairly flew through that synopsis, but look, I think just a lot has gone on within the setup, and I don't know, to every story, there are 2 sides to every story, and the truth's somewhere in the middle, or it's somewhere there anyway, but I don't know if we're ever going to find out the full story. There's so many complications. There's just it's statement after statement, rebuttal after rebuttal, but I don't know where we go from here. I suppose, yesterday Peter speaking out and saying that he wanted to draw a line under it and kind of just target 2019 and go from there. But what do you think happens next, Kev?
Yeah, like it's interesting, I suppose, looking ahead to 2019. You know, Peter has said on a couple of occasions that he plans on staying on. The county board have come out and backed him to stay on. So the big question is, you know, whether the players who left the panel are going to return. And like at the moment, it's probably hard to see that happening. Like if we even look ahead to this weekend, Carnacon are playing club championship this weekend. They're playing Knockmore on Sunday. Without, as it stands, without those 8 suspended players, so we're not quite sure yet whether they're going to appeal the bans, or you know what's kind of going to happen there. So even over the next couple of days, like there could be more developments in terms of appeals and stuff, and this whole thing might continue to drag on.
Absolutely. And I suppose, you know, you mentioned there looking at 2019, maybe we could just focus on kind of the team that we have there at the minute, like the players that are available to Mayo at the minute. There's some incredible footballers there, so many young kind of fast players, even looking at like the 2 Kelly sisters and even Grace, looking at Sarah, she's heading to Australia actually to play a bit of Aussie rules over the winter, but she'll surely be back. And you know, they have a strong panel there, but there are some key names missing. There are some key names in that group of departed players. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I think, like you already mentioned, you know how well they did recover in that game against Cavan, you know, throughout the summer. Like, yeah, it's going to be difficult. You know, if you take out 12 players from any county panel, you know, it's going to be very difficult. It's really going to affect the team. But the girls who were there, like even Sarah Rowe, you know, she's already committed to coming back next year when she comes back from her AFL stint. So, yeah, like it's going to be interesting. And I guess, like, you know, the players who are there are obviously fully committed and they want to drive on. You know, the big question over the coming months is whether, you know, the girls who walked away are actually going to come back, and I think that could have a huge say on, you know, how they get on next year, how they fare.
Absolutely, but as you say, and as Peter said yesterday, that the door is open and to anyone who wants to play for Mayo, and he's kind of kept that policy all year. But look, I think it's quite disappointing. Even just considering this time last year, they were after being in an All-Ireland final, you know, the future looked bright for Mayo football, and 2018 has just been a completely different story.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard to believe. You know, the final last year was like 46,000 at the game, and you know, huge positivity around it. And then, you know, over the last, you know, 12 months, there's been a lot, you know, an air of negativity around it. And you know, you look at the final on Sunday in Dublin and Cork. You know, it's such a great game, another great spectacle, big crowd out again, and I guess Mayo are kind of looking at that going, you know, what has happened to us in the last year, you know, because they've really fallen away, and they obviously still have the players to get back there, but I think, you know, next year they'll be hoping to kind of just focus on the football again and get away from this whole thing, because it's not really doing anybody any favours, you know, this whole thing being dragged out in the public, and it's probably difficult, you know, it's difficult for players to kind of go through this, but I'm sure they are looking forward to just getting back to playing on the football field.
Exactly, players just want to play football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And as well, this kind of has taken away a lot of the reaction from after Sunday's brilliant match between Dublin and Cork, and you know, that crowd of 50,141 in Croke Park, like it's only bigger and better from here, I think. But we'll be chatting more with Sinead Finnegan shortly. But Kev, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
and cheers for all your knowledge on the whole saga to date.
No
but hopefully now this could be the end of it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Cheers. Thank you, Kev. So I'm delighted to be joined now by Sinead Finnegan. Sinead, how are things?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, not a bother. I'm sure still getting over Sunday and all the excitement around it and whatnot.
Yeah, Sunday was brilliant, kind of, you know, still sinking in, to be honest, but it was a great day, and the few days after have been great as well, so yeah, really enjoying myself.
No doubt about that. But I'm sure we could go back to Sunday first, I suppose, and you know, that titanic battle between yourselves and Cork, the All-Ireland final, I think everyone wanted, but no one admitted they wanted who were involved. In front of 50,141, must have been just incredible to play in.
Yeah, Cork are an unbelievable side, and we were nervous enough coming into the match because we knew it was going to be a tight game, and you wouldn't really expect anything else coming from them. But for such a big crowd to witness such a great game, you know, something to be really proud to be part of, and hopefully the large crowds will continue to grow as the years go by, and as well as the performances continue to grow, and pressure on us to make sure, or pressure not just on us but on all ladies football teams to continue to drive the standards.
Absolutely, and I think one thing that everyone was speaking about after the game was just how good a spectacle it was, how high the standard was, how fast it was, how free-flowing it was. What was it like to play in? You were right at the heart of the Dublin defence there. I suppose to play in, being a defender and being part of that particular defence, I was, you know, just really proud of how well the girls did. Like, I thought,
you know, the headlines are usually about our forwards, and our forwards, you know, they deserve them a lot of the time. But I do think coming into the match, there was a lot of talk about the backs having a big game, particularly with such big names in the Cork forward line. And I do think the girls delivered on the day. So it was you know, it's a real honour to be a part of something like that, and you know, to be able to hold your own in a game like that is great.
Absolutely, and I think kind of the matchups even before the game, your management got them bang on, and you know, you did really shut out the Cork attack, because they had been seriously threatening all year, like the amount of goals they'd scored going into it.
Yeah, I think confidence, something that gives us confidence no matter who we're playing, is the work that our management team do. They work so hard. Like I don't know if Mick sleeps. Like he just is constantly thinking about football, constantly ringing people. But him, with the help of everybody else in the backroom team, just, you know, did the work that we expected them to do, and gave us our jobs, and thankfully got everything right on the day, and yeah, went our way, which was great.
And I suppose, what was it like then? When was the kind of moment that you were like, okay, I think we're safe? Or was there a moment?
Well, for me, I usually don't think like that, because I just think, you know, we've been caught in the hop so many times that you kind of have to learn from those mistakes. So literally, I was, when the whistle went, I had the ball in my hand, so that was the moment when I was like, okay, we've done it. So the girls that were closest to me were Niamh Collins and Amy, and we just like ran to each other and gave each other a hug, so it was brilliant. But yeah, I don't think you can be thinking this is over until it's actually over, just in case. Absolutely
not. But I suppose then your sister is involved with the team as well, is she? So you got to kind of share a few celebrations with her.
Yeah, it was so good. She did her Leaving Cert 2 years ago, and she did unbelievably well in her Leaving Cert, got like high 500s, but still didn't get enough points for what she wanted to do. And it was actually this time last year, after the All-Ireland, my mum and my family were on a night out with us and got talking to Shane Carney, who was the statsman of the team last year and again this year. But my mum just said, like in passing as a joke, like, Claire, my sister's, that's her name, should be involved, because she's just so precise in everything that she does. She could be a statistician, and it kind of just spiraled from there. So she got on board this year, and she's been great. You know, it's been really nice to have a family member involved. And you know, I did say to her, if we win, I want to lift the cup with you. And she was like, great. So she came down, she's like tapping me on the shoulder, and she's like, I'm here. So I was like, oh, it's great. But yeah, like there's some really, really nice pictures of the two of us lifting the cup. So hopefully Mother will put it into a frame and stick it up on the wall.
Nice memories.
But yeah, no, it's really, really good. And to be fair to her, she was great. Like she put in a lot of work. So I'm really happy for her that she had worked so hard and got the rewards as well.
Absolutely. And I suppose maybe we could just kind of revisit last year's All-Ireland final. You came out on top, you were successful, and it was great. But yourself, you had a bit of bother during the game and didn't see the final whistle.
Yes, so the week before the match we had our usual squad game, and I tore my calf, and kind of just, I didn't know if I was going to be okay or not, but I just didn't train for the week, and then tried to train on the Friday night, and then my calf still wasn't great, so just like went to a doctor that night, and he kind of gave me a plan of action for the game. So I think 18 minutes is what I was told. I don't know if that's correct or not. But yeah, so this year my year was very interrupted with injury as well. But thankfully, you know, when it was most important to not be injured, I wasn't injured, and I was, you know, like fresh enough going into the game, because the games do take a lot out of you. So I was well rested, and thankfully got through the whole match and didn't pick up any injuries, and have no complaints about calf injuries or anything like that, just a few unexplained bruises.
And nice to be on the pitch holding the ball when the final whistle went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was great. It's you know, something that you'll remember forever, so I'm really delighted that I got to play, and the overall team performance was quite a good one. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I suppose, Sinead, last year I remember you saying afterwards that it was like literally being broken up with your boyfriend 3 years in a row in September. Those 3 losses to Cork in 2014, 15 and 16. Obviously to put that to bed and kind of get over that hurdle was important on Sunday. Yeah,
I think so, and I think, you know, you get asked a lot about your wins and what you learn from winning, but I actually think you learn a lot more from your defeats. And I'm really happy that like the majority of the team have stuck around to because I know some of the girls that would have been there in 2010 have moved on, but so they would have had their All-Ireland. But the core of the girls that were on that team that lost in 2014, 15 and 16 actually did stick with it, and thankfully they did, because they got to experience the win last year, but then again this year. So it does build character being defeated, because it is very, very tough. Like, I do remember days where you're just literally crying uncontrollably, like, and it's, you know, it seems ridiculous because it's just a match, but you know, when you put so much effort into something, it is really tough to take when you don't get what you want to get. So yeah, it's great to get the feeling of a win, and you know, once you've experienced that win, as I'm sure Cork were the exact same, you know, they've won so many times, and once you've won once, it kind of spurs you on to go again, and you know, you never want to go back to that feeling of losing. So I'm sure next year we'll expect a big year from that Cork side, because they won't want to get defeated again.
And I suppose, you know, it's already been thrown around, this whole 3 in a row thing and whatnot, and you're probably already like, no, but you just enjoy this one.
Yeah, I actually nobody has mentioned the 3 in a row to me yet, but yeah, there probably will be a lot of questions about 3 in a row, and I do think if the teams stick around, there is a lot of up and coming players in our side, and if people stick around and keep pushing themselves to the standards that they were pushing themselves this year, but go a little bit further, I do think there is potential for success again. But you know, to get back to that, the thought of thinking about that now, thinking about going back to training
in January,
they're just like, no thanks, don't want to think about that now. But yeah, I think the team is in a very positive way, and like, I know Mick had come out and said that our A versus B squad game was like so intense the week before the All Ireland, and it really was. There was a point between the two sides, and you know, that's unbelievable for like two teams to be put out, and there only to be a point between both sides. So,
and like, what is that like? You know, that hugely competitive environment, and you know, you're gunning for a starting place, you're gunning for a jersey, you're pushing each other on. Like, how tough is that?
It's really hard. Like, genuinely, like mentally, it's very tough, and particularly if you're kind of on the other side, like to keep going and keep pushing yourself. Like, I really admire girls that have been there for a while and who haven't had the breakthrough yet. Like earlier in the year, I know I got dropped for a game, and that was really tough for me, and I was like, this is not going to continue. So I just like tried to push myself even harder. But yeah, it is a very intense environment, and people do get annoyed and offended, and you know, but at the end of the day, we're all striving for the one goal. So you know, while you might get offended sometimes, you just have to kind of brush it off, leave it on the pitch, and push, because if everyone's not pushing together, you're not going to get there. But thankfully, everyone in this setup does.
But that's one thing that really shines through from you guys, that kind of sense of camaraderie, that bond that you have. Like, it is special on and off the pitch.
Yeah, we are very close, and yeah, we're very lucky, because you know, in an environment where there's a lot of particularly girls involved, and it is very competitive, you can have fallen outs in that, but we're very lucky to say that we haven't, and you know, hopefully that will continue to last.
Well, considering the celebrations this week, I'm sure it will.
We'll be stuck with each other for the next while.
And Sinead, you've had a recent kind of change in career, change in professional life. Yeah. You're back now this week, are you? You took a few days off.
Yeah, so I'm teaching, well, not teaching now, my teaching placement in St. Dominicans in Cabra, and I was back in school today, so it was really nice, and the school are very supportive, and like, I barely know any of their names at the minute because there's so many of them, and they're all saying congratulations, and some of the girls are like, the students, you can kind of see them like whispering, like they know, you know that they're talking about you. Yeah. And but they're, you know, I got to go a few like, congratulations Miss Finnegan in the corridor today, and I'm finding it hard to get used to the Miss Finnegan part, but no, it's lovely, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I've only been there for 3 weeks now, but so I'm officially starting to teach properly next week, and yeah, hopefully it'll go well.
Hopefully you'll get to bring the cup in too, I'm sure.
Yeah, we actually do have the cup booked in to go on Thursday.
Brilliant.
So yeah, that'll be great.
Lovely. And then I suppose, what is it like, you know, the transition for yourself? Because obviously you spent quite a while working in sports sponsorship and PR and stuff like that. So
it's like worlds apart. It's so different. But I do miss the PR as well, and I'm always keeping an eye on what the lads are up to in PSG and stuff. So and like some of my good friends are working there, so I do miss them, and famous Jenny Kelly,
of course,
came to the banquet the other night, along with some of the other girls, Mallory and Natalie that I used to work with in there as well. So like I still do stay in touch with them, and they're a great crew, and you know they were all at the match supporting us and stuff like that. So yeah, I do miss it, and like I love bumping into the likes of yourselves and stuff like that. But I am happy that I decided to make a change, and I can always go back to the PR if I want to. Yeah,
exactly. There's actually a lovely photo. Have you seen it of the whole crew after the game on Sunday? It's really nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's nice to have those memories, I suppose.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure celebrations will continue, and you know there's whatnot formalities and all-stars and all those kind of things to keep you busy over the winter. But as you say, you know, the hard work starts again
very soon.
Very soon.
Yeah, no, we haven't had anything like official put in our diaries yet, so I don't know what's coming up for us, but I know some of us have arranged to go out on Sunday together and stuff like that, so I'm sure we will make it our business to see each other.
Of course.
But yeah, no, yeah, we'll look forward to a few nights out together, because you do kind of miss out on a lot of nights out during the year, so just make up for them now for a few months, and then go back to the hard work.
Back to the grind. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well look, I think that's all we have time for this week, but I'd like to say thanks so much to Sinead for calling in.
No problem.
And congratulations again. We're already looking forward to next year, and thanks to Kevin for joining us earlier to talk about all things Mayo. But yeah, that's all from us for now. We'll be back soon, I'm sure, but we hope you enjoyed the last few shows, and we will chat to you soon. Thank you.